Hey everyone, welcome back.
It's great to be here.
So today we're diving into Bitcoin and Ethereum,
Yeah.
specifically looking at Digital Frontier's latest analysis from their December 30th newsletter.
Mm-hmm.
So if you've been hearing all the buzz about crypto, but want to
Cut through the noise.
cut through the noise and figure out
What's really happening?
what's actually going on?
This is for you.
This is the episode for you.
Yeah, we're going
to explore the current price action.
dive into some indicators like Z-scores
Right.
and unpack how this thing called global macro liquidity is impacting
Yeah.
crypto.
Don't worry, those terms sound kind of like intimidating or like
Jargony.
jargony.
Yeah,
We're going to break it all down in a way that hopefully makes sense.
for sure.
So first up, Bitcoin.
All right.
It's currently sitting at $93,500,
Big number.
which, to someone just dipping their toes into crypto, that might seem astronomically high.
Right. But here's where these Z-scores come in handy.
Okay.
Bitcoin's 12-month Z-score is only 0.23. Basically, that means it's just slightly above its average price for the past year.
So no need to hit the panic.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
What's even more interesting is that its 3-month Z-score is actually negative,
Negative.
sitting at negative 0.21.
Interest.
This tells us Bitcoin's been in this consolidation phase,
Mm-hmm.
trading below its short-term average.
Okay.
So it's kind of like taking a breather before the next big move.
Yeah, so no wild roller coaster ride, more like a steady climb with a few pit stops along the way.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
All right, so consolidation, we're taking a breather.
Mm-hmm.
But to really understand why Bitcoin's taking this breather,
Yeah,
we need to zoom out and look at the bigger picture,
absolutely.
specifically at something called global liquidity,
The big GL.
the big GL.
Right.
And I know you've probably heard that term thrown around a lot.
Oh, yeah. That's everywhere.
But Digital Frontier really emphasizes its impact on Bitcoin's price.
Think of global liquidity as the lifeblood of the financial system
Okay.
when it's flowing freely.
Markets tend to thrive,
Thrive.
but when it contracts, things can get a bit shaky.
A little shaky.
Right.
And that's kind of what's happening now, right? Digital Frontier reports that global liquidity has shrunk to $172.5 trillion,
Yeah.
a 5.6% decrease in just 3 months.
It's a pretty significant drop. And, this contraction coupled with some volatility we've been seeing in the bond markets,
Right.
it's creating a more challenging environment for risk assets like Bitcoin.
Makes sense?
It's like the punch bowl's being taken away at the party.
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of like,
Waiting to see what happens next.
yeah, what's next?
So maybe the easy money era is winding down,
Yeah, maybe
and Bitcoin being kind of a risk taker is feeling a little uncertain.
a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair.
But here's where Digital Frontier provides some really valuable insights.
Okay.
They point to some key support and resistance levels for Bitcoin,
Yeah.
which can help us anticipate, potential price movements.
Awesome. Let's break those down.
So they highlight $90,000 as a strong support level.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean for someone who's watching the market?
So support levels act like safety nets.
Yeah.
They're price points where buying tends to increase, preventing further drops.
Gotcha.
So if Bitcoin dips towards $90,000,
Okay.
we might see a surge of buyers stepping in thinking oh, this is a good deal.
So it's like a bargain bin for Bitcoin.
Yeah, kind of.
And all those bargain hunters can help prop up the price.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Right.
What about resistance?
All right. So
Where's the ceiling for Bitcoin's climb?
Digital Frontier identifies resistance zones between $96,000 and $98,000.
Okay.
Now, these are price points where selling pressure could intensify,
So,
making it harder for Bitcoin to break through.
we've got support at $90,000.
Yeah.
Resistance looming between $96,000 and $98,000.
Right.
So essentially, Bitcoin's in a bit of a holding pattern.
Yeah, just chilling out for a bit,
Chilling out,
seeing what happens next.
waiting to see what happens.
Well,
And understanding these levels can give you an edge.
for sure.
You can start to anticipate those potential price movements
Yeah,
and adjust your strategy accordingly.
exactly.
You want to ride the wave towards resistance and maybe potentially sell, or wait for a dip towards support and buy the dip.
Right.
It all comes down to your risk tolerance and your own investment goals.
Absolutely.
And that's where informed decision-making comes in.
100%.
All right, so we've talked about Bitcoin taking a breather.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears from the world of Bitcoin and venture into the realm of Ethereum.
Okay. Let's do it.
Ethereum, the second largest cryptocurrency,
Right.
always keeping things interesting.
Always.
Right now, it's trading at $3,380
Okay.
with a 12-month Z-score of 1.92.
All right. So that puts it in overbought territory,
Oh, Bach.
meaning it might be priced a bit higher than its fundamentals justify at the moment.
Okay.
But again, it's essential to look at multiple indicators in different time frames.
Right.
Ethereum's 3-month Z-score tells a different story.
Oh, different story. Tell me more.
Yeah, so it's a more modest 0.20,
Okay.
suggesting that Ethereum is actually pretty close to its short-term average.
Okay.
So while a pullback is definitely possible, it's not necessarily in a bubble about to burst.
Okay, so not time to hit the panic button just yet.
Not yet.
But similar to Bitcoin, Ethereum's also sensitive to global liquidity trends, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But it's got its own unique set of drivers as well.
Right.
Ethereum's ecosystem is constantly evolving with new applications and what we call DeFi protocols.
Right.
Decentralized finance.
Yeah.
And NFTs popping up all the time.
All the time.
Right. This creates a lot of excitement and speculation,
Yeah.
which can lead to some pretty dramatic price swings.
So if Bitcoin's the steady climber, Ethereum's more like the adventurous risk-taking spirit.
I like that analogy. That's a good one.
Okay.
Right.
Now, while volatility can be nerve-wracking, it also presents opportunities.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For like savvy investors who know how to navigate those waves.
Right.
Right. So that's the key takeaway here.
Yeah.
Knowledge is power, especially in a fast-paced market like crypto.
Absolutely.
But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's take a closer look at what Digital Frontier highlights specifically for Ethereum.
Okay.
They pinpoint some key support and resistance levels, which can help us anticipate potential price action. What should we be watching for?
So they highlight $3,300 as a crucial support level.
Okay.
Remember, support levels act like a safety net.
Yeah.
We might see increased buying activity there.
Oh.
If Ethereum dips toward that level, it could be an attractive entry point for those who believe in its long-term potential.
Gotcha. So $3,300 is like the buy the dip zone for Ethereum.
Yeah, you could say that.
Interesting. What about resistance?
So Digital Frontier identifies $3,500 as a key resistance zone.
Okay.
Remember, that's where selling pressure could kick in,
Okay.
potentially limiting Ethereum's upward momentum. It's like a hurdle Ethereum needs to clear to reach new heights.
So we've got support at $3,300.
Yep.
Resistance at $3,500.
That's right.
Essentially, Ethereum's in a similar holding pattern to Bitcoin,
Kind of just,
navigating this shifting global landscape.
Yeah, just feeling things out.
Feeling things out.
Exactly.
And understanding these dynamics can help you make more informed decisions.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you want to buy near support and ride a potential wave upward? Or wait for a break above resistance before jumping in?
Right. Big questions.
It all comes down to your individual risk appetite and your investment goals.
Of course.
And that's what we'll explore further in part 2.
Yeah.
We'll dive into some more specific strategies and actionable insights from Digital Frontier. But for now,
Maybe a little break.
yeah, let's take a little break to let all this information sink in.
Sounds good. So we just covered a lot about how Bitcoin and Ethereum are reacting to this kind of like current market conditions.
Yeah, a lot to unpack there.
But let's dig into some more specific insights from Digital Frontier's December 30th update.
Okay, love to hear it.
Remember how we talked about like tightening global liquidity?
Yeah.
Well, there's another crucial metric to consider, especially for Bitcoin, and that is production cost.
Production costs.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean in the context of Bitcoin?
So think of it as the break-even point for Bitcoin miners, the price at which mining new coins becomes profitable.
Gotcha.
So Digital Frontier estimates this cost to be between $60,000 and $85,000 per Bitcoin.
Okay.
Now, even with the recent dip, Bitcoin's still trading significantly higher than its production costs.
So the miners are still in the green.
Oh, yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yep.
They're still making a healthy profit.
Good.
Which is a positive sign.
Right.
There's no indication of miners capitulating or dumping their Bitcoin holdings.
Okay, that's good to hear. But what if the price drops closer to that production cost?
Right, so that's where things could get interesting. Digital Frontier warns that if Bitcoin drops too close to that range, miners might start selling more aggressively to cover their costs, which could potentially drive the price down further.
Yeah, makes sense.
It's this delicate balance between miner profitability and overall market sentiment.
So keep an eye on that production cost.
Yeah.
It's like a psychological threshold
For sure.
for the miners.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, now let's talk about the psychological side of the market as a whole.
Okay.
Remember the fear and greed index we mentioned earlier?
Oh, yeah, the good old fear and greed index.
Gives us a little glimpse into how the market's feeling.
How are people feeling?
Fearful or greedy?
Exactly.
Well, according to the December 30th update, that index was sitting at a whopping 79.
Whoa.
Deep into extreme greed territory.
That's pretty greedy.
That makes me a little nervous.
Yeah, I can see why.
What happens when the market gets this greedy?
So historically, extreme greed often precedes corrections or periods of consolidation. When investors get overly optimistic, it can create this disconnect between price and underlying value.
Right.
Which makes the market vulnerable to a pullback.
So it's almost like the higher the greed, the harder the potential fall.
It can certainly feel that way sometimes.
Oof.
So you combine that heightened greed
Yeah.
with the tightening liquidity we talked about.
Right.
You've got a recipe for potential volatility.
Oh boy, this is...
Especially for Bitcoin.
Sounds like a recipe for some sleepless nights for investors.
Possibly. But remember, volatility can also present opportunities as well.
That's true.
Let's not forget about Ethereum.
Right.
It's reacting to these changing market conditions a bit differently than Bitcoin.
Yeah, how so?
Well, remember, both are influenced by macro trends like global liquidity, but Ethereum seems even more sensitive to investor sentiment and all the exciting innovations happening within its ecosystem.
Right. Ethereum's always been a bit more of a wild card.
Yeah, for sure.
Full of energy and prone to these big moves.
That's one way to put it.
So even in a market with tightening liquidity, Ethereum's still got that speculative edge.
It definitely does.
Okay.
And remember those Z-scores we talked about? Well, Ethereum's 12-month Z-score is a whopping 1.92. Firmly in overbought territory.
Overbought again.
Right. Which suggests it might be due for a correction at some point.
Right. A pullback toward its historical average.
That's one possibility.
Okay.
However, its 3-month Z-score paints a different picture.
Oh, okay. A different picture. Tell me about this picture.
It's a more modest 0.20, indicating that Ethereum is actually pretty close to its short-term average.
So it's overextended in the long run,
but
not necessarily in a bubble about to burst in the short term.
Right.
It's like a little bit of a head scratcher.
It is.
Okay.
And that's why Digital Frontier emphasizes the importance of considering multiple indicators and different time frames.
Makes sense.
A single data point can be misleading. You got to look at the bigger picture.
So which indicators should investors prioritize?
Right.
It feels like information overload sometimes.
It can be, and that's where Digital Frontier's expertise shines.
Okay.
They don't just present data.
Right.
They offer insights and guidance.
I like that.
So in their December 30th update, they point to specific support and resistance levels for Ethereum.
Okay.
Let's unpack those.
Yeah, let's do it.
Because they can be incredibly useful for navigating this uncertainty.
Okay, first up, support.
Right.
Where might Ethereum find some solid footing?
So Digital Frontier pinpoints $3,300 as a crucial support level for Ethereum.
Okay, $3,300.
Remember, support levels can act like magnets, attracting buyers who believe the asset is undervalued at that price point.
Right.
So if Ethereum dips toward $3,300, we might see a surge of buying activity, potentially preventing further downside.
So for those who are bullish on Ethereum's long-term potential, $3,300 could be an attractive entry point.
It could.
Okay, interesting. What about resistance?
So Digital Frontier highlights $3,500 as a key resistance zone.
Okay.
Remember, resistance is like a ceiling.
Yeah.
Where selling pressure could intensify, making it harder for Ethereum to break through.
Gotcha. So if Ethereum rallies towards $3,500, we'll need to see strong buying momentum to overcome that resistance.
We'll have to wait and see.
Okay.
So it's this tug of war between bullish and bearish forces.
Yeah.
With $3,300 acting as support.
Right.
$3,500 as resistance.
Okay.
Understanding these levels can help investors anticipate potential price movements and adjust their strategies accordingly.
Absolutely. Whether you're looking to buy the dip or ride a potential wave upward, or simply observe from the sidelines, these insights can give you a valuable edge.
For sure.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
Especially in a market as dynamic and unpredictable as crypto.
Yeah, no doubt.
But there's more to the story than just price action to market indicators.
Right.
Digital Frontier also offers some practical advice for navigating these choppy waters.
Okay.
Let's explore those recommendations in the final part of our deep dive.
Sounds good.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive. You know, we've covered so much ground.
We have.
From Z-scores and global liquidity to like support and resistance levels. Digital Frontier doesn't just stop at analysis.
Right.
they offer some actionable advice, and that's what we're going to focus on now.
Let's do it.
So ready to turn these insights into action.
Absolutely.
All right, so in their December 30th update, Digital Frontier emphasizes 2 key strategies for navigating the current market.
Okay.
Diversification and hedging.
Big ones.
So first up, diversification.
All right.
Like the old saying.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. But what does that mean, like in the context of crypto?
So in crypto, it means spreading your investments across different asset classes.
Okay.
Think stocks, bonds, real estate, precious metals, and of course, cryptocurrencies.
Yeah.
By diversifying, you reduce your exposure to risk.
Gotcha.
So if one asset class takes a hit,
Uh-huh.
the others can kind of cushion the blow.
So it's all about balance.
Yeah.
Not putting all your faith
Right.
in a single asset.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Now, hedging, that sounds a bit more complex.
It can be.
What exactly is it, and how can it help investors?
So think of hedging as buying insurance for your investments.
Oh.
There are these financial instruments and strategies you can use to potentially offset losses if the market moves against you.
So like a safety net in case things get really turbulent.
Yeah, exactly.
But where do we even begin with all this? It can feel kind of overwhelming to know where to start.
Yeah, and that's where seeking expert guidance can be really valuable.
Okay.
Digital Frontier offers tailored strategies based on your risk tolerance and investment goals.
Right.
They can help you build a diversified portfolio and explore hedging options that meet your specific needs.
It's reassuring to know there's support available for those who want to navigate, these complex waters.
For sure.
But beyond diversification and hedging, what else does Digital Frontier recommend?
So they emphasize the importance of staying informed.
Yeah.
The crypto market is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
So keeping your finger on the pulse is crucial.
Right.
Pay attention to news and announcements, especially from major central banks.
Okay.
Their decisions on interest rates and liquidity can send ripples throughout the entire crypto world.
We've definitely seen how those macro trends can really shake things up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So what else should we be watching for in this ever-changing landscape?
Keep a close eye on bond market volatility.
Okay, bond market volatility.
Remember, when bond yields rise rapidly, it can signal fears of inflation or economic instability, which can trigger a flight to safety. And riskier assets like cryptocurrencies can be caught in the crossfire.
Right, because what happens in the broader financial world doesn't stay confined to Wall Street. It definitely spills over into the crypto markets.
For sure.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we're left with a lot to think about.
We are.
Bitcoin and Ethereum are facing headwinds, but they've also shown incredible resilience.
They have.
In the past.
Yeah.
The beauty of this market is that it's dynamic and unpredictable.
For sure.
It's full of potential.
Absolutely.
But, navigating these waters successfully requires knowledge, a sound strategy, and a willingness to adapt.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
And that's what we've aimed to equip you with today.
Exactly.
We've unpacked Digital Frontier's latest analysis, explored the forces shaping the Bitcoin and Ethereum markets, and we've delved into strategies like diversification and hedging.
Right.
This is just the beginning of your crypto journey.
It is.
So keep learning, stay curious, and never stop asking questions.
Absolutely.
This deep dive has given you the tools and the insights to start navigating this exciting and sometimes turbulent world of Bitcoin and Ethereum.
For sure.
Until next time, stay informed. And here's to making smart decisions.
Cheers to that.
In this ever-evolving world of crypto.
Absolutely.